Welcome into the DML Network, and it is Super Bowl time for the season where stick skills are king. It's your boy Expert here live on the network, and we will be live broadcasting the Super Bowl with those NFC champion New Orleans Saints and the AFC champs LA Chargers. ADDY05 versus AKAForse. And let me bring my co-host in. It's the OG Chris Murray. All right, Chris. We got a big Super Bowl tonight. It's the finale of the season. Which one of these guys are you looking forward to the most here in the Super Bowl?
This is a tough pick, man, because both of these guys are well balanced users and they're top tier users in DML. But how Eddie is playing, man, with those New Orleans Saints, it'll be difficult to pick against him, man. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the Saints could do. Looking at that last matchup, him putting up a 50 clip, I'm just looking forward to see what he can do this game.
Yeah, and Chris, you talk about that very explosive offense there in New Orleans. And, of course, we got to talk about Drew Brees. It may be his last year at the quarterback position. They got the young Teddy Bridgewater trying to be the backup. But Drew Brees this year, 3,600 yards passing with 39 touchdowns. The guy can throw it all over the field. But the X factor in New Orleans is that guy in the backfield. It's AK-47 and Alvin Kamara. And he is back and he is ready to play in the Super Bowl. Had an injury there at the end of the year, Chris, kind of held him under 1,000 yards. But this is a guy averaging over 6 yards a carry for the New Orleans Saints. How big is it to get his superstar back in that backfield?
It's real big. I'm seeing right now because not only is he effective on the run game, he's effective in the passing game also. So he's a dual threat running back. So that right there automatically tips the meter into Eddie's favor because he's getting a key guy back. And AKAForse is going to have to figure out, man, I'm telling you, how to contain him because as you've seen in the previous matchup, Eddie loves going to him. So it's telling you, he's going to be, and he's back, and he's in the Super Bowl, he's excited to play. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, and so let's take a look at the Chargers a little bit because we can't slight the Chargers. I mean, they are in the Super Bowl for a reason, and one of those reasons is Phillip Rivers, 3,800 yards this year, 32 touchdowns. Now, he had a little problem turning the ball over there beginning of the year. He kind of tightened that up as the year went on. But the biggest problem that we're going to see is he is without Melvin Gordon. But he really likes the young guy, Austin Eckler, the kid out of Western State, Colorado. Very, very quick back, had 125 rushes for 720 yards, which is not bad, 5.8 a clip. That's very, very good for the Chargers. But is the offense going to be the problem for LA, or is it going to be on that defensive side of football like you talked about?
I'm telling you right now, man, offense, because he's going up against the top defense in the DML, only giving up 9 points on the defensive side of the ball. So I think that he's going to have to figure out his defense. I think his defense is good. But all year long, I've been preaching the same thing. It's not about stopping Eddie. Eddie is a defensive user, and Eddie's a defensive user. So he's going to have to figure out how to get the combination to that lock and score points, man, because he's going up against a very stingy defense in the New Orleans Saints, and he's going to have to figure it out fast because Eddie's offense is averaging 35 points per game. So he's going to have to figure something out.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Eddie's offensive line is going to get tested tonight. The New Orleans Saints are going to have to find a way to block this LA Charger defense because while he's without Melvin Gordon, he does have a Melvin on that defensive side of the football and Melvin Ingram III, who listen to this, 20 sacks from that defensive end position. And then his buddy, Melvin's buddy, Kiko Alonso, from that middle linebacker position, 12 sacks himself. These two guys right here are going to be key. But the X factor for the Chargers, it's that man from the Ohio State University, Mr. Joey Bosa. Only 11 sacks on the year, but he gets a lot of attention, which gets Melvin Gordon that one-on-one coverage. He's going to have to find a way to block these two bookends, and that's where the Chargers, I think, are going to make the biggest impact is on this defensive side of the football. Do the Saints have the offensive line, though, to control these two ends coming off of the edge with Kiko roaming in that middle?
Yeah, I think how the Saints are set up with their offensive scheme, they get the ball out so fast, so it's so hard to get a sack on Drew Brees. That's just been proven, you know, game after game all season. But if he can figure, like I say, he has to figure out, man, because this has been a puzzle that no one can solve yet. So if he can figure out, you know, how to get pressure on Drew Brees and cause a little bit of chaos, you know, his defense, you know, might be able to get the job done, but I don't see it. I can't see it, man. I just can't see it.
Yeah, and the Saints, listen, the Saints have a very good offensive line if you're looking on the outside. Teron Armstead at the left tackle position, and then you have Ryan Ramczyk at the right tackle position. Two guys that anchor that offensive line. Now, I do think he has a little issue in the middle. Andrus Peat has had a decent year. He still has a lot of work, a young guy out of Stanford. And then he's got the veteran Max Unger at center. And Max Unger is not the most agile guy. And so you're going to see the Chargers try and bring some pressure up the middle to disrupt this Saints offense. But here's the big thing with the Saints. He likes to get this ball on the outside to Kamara, whether he's dumping it off to him or he's throwing the toss or the stretch play. So it's going to be key that the Chargers set the edge. And now you talked a little bit about the Saints like to get this ball out quick. Probably the fastest offense from snap to the ball leaving the quarterback's hands here in the dynasty. And it's really helped Addy be successful over in the NFC. And he kind of coasted through those NFC playoffs. But he's going to meet a guy in ADDY05 that's not afraid to bring pressure. Is sometimes when you bring pressure that kind of leaves your back end exposed here in a Madden game. But the Chargers have a very good secondary. Do you think maybe that AKAForse can maybe find himself in a bad situation if he's consistently bringing that extra guy and kind of leaving guys in man coverage?
I'm telling you right now, he's definitely going to be exposing himself. He's going up against, like I said, this is just not no walk in the park game right here for him. He's going up against, in my opinion, the number one guy in the DML right now, how his team is playing, how he's playing. So if he continue to bring guys, and I think, you know, he probably get in there a couple times, but Eddie is definitely going to, you know, figure it out where it's coming from and expose it. And it's going to cost him. I'm telling you, it's going to cost him. So he's going, like I say, he's going to have to figure out how to solve this puzzle, man. He's going to come out, execute a spectacular game plan to pull this one off.
Yeah, and the Saints, let's go through the Saints and the Chargers schedules. We wait on these two guys to get together to figure out when we're going to start this game. I believe we had a 10:30 start, so we're 1 minute past that. But let's look. The Saints started the divisional round. He had a bye in the first round, and he beats the Bears 35-10, a very, very good team run by Bus. And then in the conference championship, he gets Mr. Sweets 99 himself in those 49ers. And you talk about that 50 piece. He puts up 47 points in the NFC championship game. And now he's got the Chargers. The Chargers had a little bit different road to the Super Bowl here. The Chargers played in the wild card round. He had the Ravens. Pretty easy win against Matty Lowe and the Ravens, 37-9. But then in that divisional round, he got KP, Chris Murray. KP is one of those top three guys in the dynasty. And he got tested in the divisional round, pulling it out 24-20. Defense came to play there, kind of shut the Chiefs down there in the second half. And then in the conference championship, the AFC conference championship, he gets tight work, another guy who has banners in the ceiling, and he gives tight work a Krispy Kreme donut in the AFC championship game, 21-0. So I think that AKAForse has been more tested as he heads into the Super Bowl. And can that play a role as really ADDY05 is really kind of coasted here to the Super Bowl, whereas, you know, AKAForse has had to fight and claw and scratch for 3 games now to get to this point. Is that going to play a factor?
It is definitely going to play a factor, but something that Andy has that Andy doesn't is Super Bowl experience. This is not Eddie's first rodeo. You know, he's been in 2 past Super Bowls. You know, he fell short of it, and I think that past Super Bowl experience is going to help him out. But like what you said about Andy is he definitely was battle tested because he had a way more tougher road than Eddie. But I just think that they're on 2 different levels of how they playing, man.
Yeah.
I'm not taking nothing away from the Chargers. I'm not taking nothing away from Andy, but they just on 2 different platforms right now, man. And the Saints is playing like they're on a mission. They're playing like they're on the flat, like just flat out like that. They're playing like they're on a mission, man.
Yeah.
I just can't, no matter what outlook anybody else has, I cannot see the Saints losing this game. I just can't.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I'm picking the Saints here. And I made that very clear early on in the chat today that I picked the Saints. I expect ADDY05 to dominate this game. Now, when I say he's going to dominate the game, I still think it's going to be a close game. But I still think ADDY05 and what he does with this offense, especially with the speedster AK-47 and Drew Brees getting this ball out quick, they're going to have their way on offense. My big thing for ADDY05, and I'm sure he's thought about this as this game was coming, is he has to play a defensive game today because the Chargers can put up points. And they have weapons on that football team. In the backfield, he likes the youngster, but he has weapons at tight end, at wide receiver, and he will spread this football around. And then he will ask his defense to put him in some situations to put points on the board. So Addy really has to play a good game. And that's where the X factor is for me. While all the points that Addy puts up, it's going to come down to how his defense plays. And I think it's going to come down to how both defenses play. Whichever defense wins this ball game, that's who's going to win. Because both these offensive teams have proven they could put points up. It's going to come down to who wins that defense side of the football. And I just think the way that Addy plays, Chris, he's the better defensive guy right now. And that's why he wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that. I mean, because both of these guys, just looking at both team stats, they both can put up points. They both defenses are stacked and show that they can come out, play a defensive game, and shut you completely out. But I think that Andy is going to have to figure out how to get his key guys going very fast. Because what the Saints, what I've seen in previous games is they come out and they're starting off the starting line. Like, they're not coming out playing slow. Like, their game picks up really fast, and by the end of the first quarter, could be up 21-0.
Yeah.
Like, that's just what he has proven. So I think that, like you said, both defenses are going to be tested because both of these guys are good offensive users. But like I just said, man, I can't see Saints losing this game. And I think from week 1 of the preseason up until this point, ADDY05 has been playing like a man on a mission. Just flat out like a man on a mission. And I think he's ready to shake the monkey off his back, man, and get his first banner in the DMO.
Yeah, and both of these guys really, Chris, have that monkey on the back because neither one of them, as good as they are, have been able to hang a banner. And, you know, Chris, you've hung one. I've got one in the rafters. We know what it takes to win one here in the Dynasty. It's not easy. It's very difficult, the talent level that there is here in the Dynasty, for you to hang one. And when you finally hang one, you feel that sense of like, okay, I accomplished something, but man, I want to go get another one. And these guys are going to fight and claw and scratch to get that first one up in the banners. And it means even more, Chris, because this is the season where you couldn't trade. You couldn't do anything to improve your team outside of picking up a free agent here or there. And it's basically based on stick skills. And these two guys have earned the right. And it's so important. You know, they're going to be able to say, I won the first one in Madden 19. Nobody else will be able to say that. Of course, the trade, of course, you know, in the Dynasty, trades are going to blow up as soon as this Super Bowl is over. But these two guys have done it strictly on stick skills right out the box with the squads that Madden put in front of them. And so both of them want to win this game. And I believe we are ready, just waiting on the loading screen to get these guys going. It's time to get the Super Bowl off. The homie Chris Murray and I both picking the Saints here to win this Super Bowl, but I expect a very good game. I certainly hope it's a good game. We appreciate y'all tuning in to the DML Network here. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Put your comments in, chat with the guys here in Dynasty. I know there's some guys in the Dynasty watching the game. If you got questions, you want to join our league, we do have a development league. You want to get on the waiting list to get into the blueprint because, yes, there is a waiting list to get in there. You have to go to our website. Chris, what is the website and how can they get into the blueprint, our development league?
Pretty much, just fill out a form and you'll pretty much go on the waiting list. Yes, you have a couple questions that we got to ask you, just to make sure that you fit what we got going on, both in the blueprint and in the dynasty. And then if a slot open up, you get the call. Depending on how your level of activity is in the chat, your gameplay, of course, always how you follow the rules, determine how long you will be in a blueprint, or you might get the call up, be lucky enough to get the call up to the dynasty, But both leagues is great, man. Something that that I enjoy being part of, and I know guys look forward to being part of it too.
Yeah, no doubt. Check us out at thedynastymaddenleague.com. thedynastymaddenleague.com. Put your application in. Get on the waiting list because there's guys that want to get into this league. So here's a waiting list. But we have had spots open. We've called a couple guys up to the top league here in the dynasty from the blueprint this season. So there's always a chance. Of course, we ask guys to put in some work. Shout out to those guys in the blueprint. They doing great things down there. And they had their Super Bowl today, Chris Murray. Who won the Super Bowl in the blueprint?
Rich 215, man, knocked off. I'm going to win it. Pretty much the guy that's been dominating all Madden 18. Rich knocked him off today, man. It was a good game on both parts because Rich 215 had the Philadelphia Eagles, which is Floodgate stacked. But I'm going to win it. Took the bottom. The last of the crop of the Colts and took them to a 15-1 season and took them all the way to the Super Bowl. So, both guys showed that they pretty much put the definition of the season to play because nobody can project it in any league that the Colts will be playing in the Super Bowl. Just off the level of talent that team lacks on both sides of the ball. Just flat out being honest, man. Yeah,
no doubt. Shout out to I'm Gonna Win It. The guy had the first pick in the Madden 19 draft in the blueprint, which I was so honored to host that show. And he basically came on, Chris, and said, I'm just going to take whatever team is left over at 32, and I'm going to take them to the Super Bowl. And that's exactly what he did. Huge respect for that guy for taking the Colts, a 15-1 season, run through the playoffs, get to the Super Bowl, and plays the best team out the gate, which is the Philadelphia Eagles. The top two guys in the blueprint, no doubt, in Rich 215, and I'm going to win it.
And the kicker is, my fault for cutting you up, expert. The kicker is this, man. He flat out stated it. Like, it wasn't like he went 5-0 to say, yeah, I'm going to win the Super Bowl. He said it from the gate. Give me whatever team you're going to give me, and I'm going to the Super Bowl. It don't matter. It don't matter if Andrew Luck gets hurt. It don't matter if my star players get out. I'm going to the Super Bowl. And for him to just do it, man, it was just like just watching it, it was just mind-boggling. But I actually got a chance to play against I'm going to win it. And, that dude is a hell of a user, man. He's a hell of a user.
Yeah, he's definitely good. And he backed up his talk from the draft. Much respect to him. And I believe that's Rich 215's last game in the blueprint as he got the call up to the big leagues. Not because he was in the Super Bowl, but because of the work he's put in down there in the blueprint. We welcome him to the dynasty. He is actually going to take over the New York Jets here in the dynasty. So huge shout out to Rich 215. Happy for the guy. He's put his time in. He's paid his dues down in the blueprint, and we welcome him to the dynasty. And now the real work begins for him because now the competition, he's going to get it every single week. So, and he's in a tough division here in the dynasty. As he's got, those Miami Dolphins up there balling, and he's got the Patriots up there balling, and then that other team that's in that division who just is there. But he's got some tough competition. Welcome him to the AFC. He's got to see the likes of Chris Murray and myself, Chris with those Browns, and then Expert with those Jags. So, but shout out to him, and shout out to every guy down in the Blueprint. They do such a great job. I hate to say that it's the development league, because basically it's just Dynasty 2.0, really. I mean, those guys are putting in work down there, and it's great to see those guys doing some of the things they're doing and being successful. With shows, with podcasts. You got to love those guys down in the Blueprint. I'm still in the Blueprint chat. Love chatting with those guys, and I hope all of them have a chance to play in the Dynasty one day. But guys, Madden and EA for some reason does not want this game to be played. We are now loading for the third time. The game keeps freezing on them, but we are going to get to the Super Bowl quickly. I promise you, we cannot wait to see this. I know these two guys have been chomping at the bit all day. I know when I played my Super Bowl, Chris, and you kind of speak on this, but that's really, you start getting those butterflies as it gets closer and closer, knowing you have a chance to hang a banner. And I've been in several of them. And finally won my first one last year. It's nerve-wracking as you get really close to that Super Bowl, knowing, okay, this is what we played 16 games for all the way through the playoffs, and now it's time to go hang my banner. And when something crazy happens, like the game freezes, it kind of just like you start getting jittery, and it's like, hurry up, I need to get this game over with. And of course, the homie Chris Murray has won high stakes, which if you win a high stakes Super Bowl, hey, it's the last Super Bowl of the cycle. This is going to determine where I pick for the next cycle. It means so much more. What was that like, winning a high stakes Super Bowl when you had the Raiders, taking those Raiders to the Super Bowl?
It was crazy, man. I'm telling you that right now. It was crazy because the path that I had to take to get to the Super Bowl, I actually played AKAForse, and it was crazy. His team, I faced him in the Super Bowl, but before I faced him, I had to play against Dion, which if you seen that Atlanta Hawks team, man, they was nasty. So Nasty Nuke put together a solid Atlanta Hawks, Atlanta Falcons team. But it was crazy, man. Just, if I could give advice to guys, that's actually making a run for it, is just calm your nerves and just stick to your game. It's just look at it as another game, because if you start, trying to get way ahead of what it is, it can definitely affect your gameplay. Yeah. You just gotta calm your nerves, just relax. Look at it as another game, an exhibition game, but just come on, execute your game plan. But this right here, this the love of the game. I'm wondering how much of an impact it's going to play on both sides, because I know they both like, oh, it's Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl. It's the season. And they're ready to play, but for some reason, man, don't want them to play. How much impact would this play in the game? Woo!
Yeah, they are now having to reset everything, Chris Murray. It's not allowing them to get into the game. It's freezing on the loading screen for the third time. So they're going to reset everything. And I said you won it with the Raiders, but you won it when you had the Bears. And you had that monster out there at wide receiver, Mr. KW. He was just a cheat code for you. But you talked about beating those Falcons. And if anybody knows, Nasty Noop had those Falcons on a whole different level. I mean, they literally would press your wide receivers, and you really couldn't get off of the line. And then you kind of finished it off and beat AKAForse in the Super Bowl. But we really want to see the Saints versus the Chargers. If we could get EA and Madden servers to work with us tonight. But since we got a minute here, let's talk about what's coming up in the Dynasty. And Chris, this is the most exciting time of the year. Every single cycle, it's time for the offseason, and guys are going to be making trades left and right. The teams will not be intact after this Super Bowl. We'll start seeing on Twitter a bunch of the trades will be announced on Twitter, because guys are going to start making moves to improve their teams. And I'll be the first one to tell you, the Jags have already traded away their first-round pick. We're just waiting to make the announcement after the Super Bowl. What about the Cleveland Browns? Are you going to stand pat, or are you going to make some moves with those Cleveland Browns?
Me, man, I'm a risk taker. If a guy could bring a solid offer to my office and it makes sense for not only for me but for both parties, I don't have no problem making any key moves like this offseason. Once I make this announcement, that probably a lot of guys gonna look and gonna probably look puzzled, or why am I doing it? But I'm always looking to make moves, man. It don't matter who it is, what player it is. Now, I'm going to stretch that last statement I just made. It does depend on the player because, some players are close to my heart. But I'm always looking to make moves, man. If you could bring a solid offer to my office, I don't have no problem with making a move. We definitely made a big splash this offseason, a big splash.
Yeah,
and I can't wait. I can't wait to announce that one.
And especially with your track record, it should be a big move. I can't wait till you announce it. It's going to shock some people here in the dynasty, as well as the same move that your boy Expert made. It's going to shock some people. But when you play a full season, you kind of see where you need a spark. You need that extra player. You need somebody to kind of step in and take you to that next level. And Chris, the Browns didn't have the season you expected coming out the gate. I know you expected to be in the playoffs, to compete here. Same thing with the Jags. We lost some games that we should not have lost, which hurt because we still finished 10-6 and missed the playoffs in the AFC, which is crazy at 10-6. You had to be 11-5 to even sniff the playoffs, which just kind of speaks to the level of competition that's here in the dynasty. But going forward, Chris, what do you expect those Browns to be? Do you expect them to be that division champ and competing every single year in the playoffs here in the dynasty? Or is it going to take a couple seasons to get the Browns where you need them to be?
I think, honestly speaking, we're going to come out and compete every single season. And I'm definitely me not saying that we're going to come out and be division champs every season is me selling myself short every year. Hands down, I think the division is mine. And I think how my team is now, we can compete with the best of them. But sometimes the game just don't go the way that it was planned to go. Just as simple as that. But the moves that we are making is to not just have us competing right now, but in the future also. So I'm definitely excited about my Cleveland Browns because them being doormats is no longer our motto out there in Cleveland, man. The dog pound, I'm telling you, y'all better prepare yourselves for them.
Yeah, and you're really only a half a game out. It came down to a tiebreaker there at the end that the Ravens took it based on that head-to-head with you. So I expect the Browns are not an 8-8 team. Let's just say that. The Browns are definitely not an 8-8 team. But let's talk about, as we are just wasting time at this point, guys. We are waiting. Hopefully these Madden servers and EA servers allow us to get this game off pretty quick. We appreciate everybody tuning in here on the DML Network on YouTube. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button and be with you. But let's talk a little bit about next year, what it's going to look like here in the AFC and NFC. If you look at the AFC South, shout out to the homie SJ, the co-commish. Had a great year with those Texans at 12-4. Clowney was just played out of his mind this year at linebacker. And then he had those Jags on his tails at 10-6. But the real division, really two divisions we got to talk about is that AFC East and AFC West. You got the Dolphins won the division at 11-5, but he had two teams right behind him in the Patriots and the Jets at 10-6, sniffing at those heels. Going to be a very tough division going forward. Do you see the Dolphins continuing to win that division, or are we going to see the Patriots or the Jets kind of step up there and take that division next year?
It's not going to be a cakewalk. in the past how it was for Tyreek this cycle, man. I definitely think that the Jets. Well, I'm not going to speak on the Jets because they now are under new ownership.
Yeah.
But I think the schemer and the New England Patriots found their way in that mid part of this season, and I think that he got some things figured out. He got his offensive scheme down pat. He got his defensive scheme down pat. And I think he's definitely going to contend every single season for the division crown.
Yeah, and don't count out the homie Rich 215. I mean, this is a good user, and he's really got to get in here and find out what this team is about because it was tailored around the homie Ness. Shout out to the OG Ness. Always be our homie here in the dynasty. But the Rich 215 is going to compete. And then you got the AFC West. And 3 playoff spots came out of this division here in the AFC. The Chiefs won it at 13-3, but he had the Chargers right behind him at 12-3. And then the homie Tone Dog at 11-5 picked up that last wild card spot. But here's the thing. You really can't count JB out either with those Broncos. Nope. He's going to get those Broncos playing well very, very soon. Do you see KP continuing his dominance here in this AFC West? Or maybe we see Tone and Andy and JB kind of go up there and split some of these division wins?
Man, listen, I'm telling you right now, KP got Mr. Tyreek Hill, Mr. Deuces himself, 99 speed, that offense, how they playing, and the type of moves that KP make throughout the offseason, I don't know what he be placing in people's DMs, but he seems to every single cycle just finesse a crazy trade that hey just scratching your head like, why did that user just do that? But I can't see right now nobody knocking him off of taking a division, but I do see the LA Chargers and the Oakland Raiders, making playoff push every single year. But I don't see them right now knocking KP off. Even though the division was so tight, I don't see them knocking KP off right now because I think KP is also another user that's starting to figure the game out.
Yeah.
But even with JB and the Denver Broncos, even though they're 4-12, they finished off 4-12, this was a team, man, that was top 10 in offensive total yards, but he just couldn't seem to figure out how to shake the injury bug, and the turnover bug. But this division gonna be good too, man. Heading into the future seasons, man. I'm telling you that right now.
All right, guys, and we are now officially live in Atlanta for the Super Bowl with the Chargers versus the Saints, and the Saints are gonna get the ball here first. ADDY05 will go on offense. Oh, and them Chargers got them powder blues on. Them dark blues on. I like those. Those are nice jerseys. And the Saints went with the black with the gold pants. Kickoff here for the Super Bowl. We're going to get a fair catch to start. Saints will get the ball at the 25-yard line against the Chargers, which means the Chargers will get the ball after halftime. All right, this is a big drive to start this game. These guys have tried now. This is the 4th try to get this game started. We're finally going to get going. And Addy wants to start fast, and he's going to come out twin set to the left, double tight end, and AK-47 here in the backfield. Drew Brees under center at the 25. 1st and 10 for the Saints. And he's going to go stretch run here to Kamara. Nice little move there. And that's what AK-47 can do for you, Chris. He can make a guy or 2 guys miss, and he takes a play that should be a 2-yard gain, and he turns it into 8 yards for him.
Look like he's definitely ready to play in this game. That injury is like it ain't slowing him down at all.
Yeah, and he's just hoping Kamara can stay healthy. Drew Brees in the shotgun back to pass. He's going to find Kamara out here in the flat, and that is just too easy. To ask a linebacker, and we have our first injury, the Chargers, Leggett, first injury here on the field. And to ask a linebacker to cover AK-47 is a tough task if you're the Chargers here, Chris Murray.
And this is what we mentioned in the pre-show, man. This guy is a dual threat running back. You got to figure out how to contain him, or it's going to be a long day for the Chargers, man. I'm saying that right now.
No doubt. I formation, going to go stretch play here again. And there is a lot of room to run, and that is a big tackle there by Kiko. He's got to make that player. Kamara is running to the house right there. Big play there by Kiko. Stops him for a 5-yard gain, but still a 5-yard gain. And here we go. We're going to go four wide receivers, 1 tight end, 5 wide receivers in the play. Drew Brees out to throw. Quick pass out to the flats. Nice play there by Hayward. That is a nice play. Ooh, and Leggett done for the game with the upper arm fracture. But good play there by Hayward to come up, make that hit, and bring up our first third down here in the Super Bowl. But Addy, yeah, he is very efficient on third down. This is where you have to make and secure this tackle because he can run or throw here, and he's going to throw here. Little Texas route here by Kamara, and that is just too easy. Drew Brees starting the game 3 for 3 here. Chris Murray, 24 yards. This is what we expected from ADDY05.
And look who that man is again, Kamara. He's showing that this is the guy that he's going to go to. And like I said, and he's going to have to figure out how to contain him. It's going to be a long day, man. And Kamara seemed to be happy to be back.
Yeah, and he's run the ball with him. He's dumped it off to him. That time had him on the Texas route where he looks like he's going to the flat and then cuts it back to the middle of the field. And that's an easy pickup. We're going to go double twin set here. New running back in the backfield here for Drew Brees as he's changing some things up. And we're going to go toss here.
Wow.
And that is a good play. That is what the Chargers need to do. If Kamara's not in the game and he's going to toss that ball out there to Scott, he's got to just find a way to get him down. No gain on the play. Brings up a 2nd and 10. And Kamara is back on the field. And he's not going to miss many plays. He's going to get a breather here and there. We're going to get 4 wide receivers, Kamara in the backfield. Chargers going with 3 down linemen. This is his dime set here. And I think Drew Brees is going to run the inside draw here, and that's exactly what he's going to do. And Kamara pushing the pile there, already 19 yards on 3 rushes, picks up 6 yards, Chris. That's one you got to bring the little guy down. You can't get run over as a defensive tackle there.
And this is where the front 4 of the LA Chargers are going to have to play. Like I said, they're going to have to play in sync with each other. They're going to have to figure out how to stop the run and get pressure on Drew Brees because he's looking real comfortable back there in the pocket.
Yeah, he's got all day to throw. 3rd down and 4. Kamara in the flat. That is a good play there by the Chargers. Going to bring up our first 4th down, and ADDY05 is going to take the 3 points. Good stop there by the Chargers as Kamara looked like he was wide open, and ADDY05 missing the field goal.
Wow.
Huge win, Chris Murray, for the Chargers as they're going to get on the field with the score still 0-0.
Can that delay, man? Can that delay be affecting Addy right now? Can it be affecting him? Because that's the solid 3 points right there in the pass, man.
Yeah, and that's a big play. And we're going to go Eckler here. Nice little spin move there in the hole. And he's going to pick up 7 yards on 1st down. And the Chargers, very stout on offense. This is where it comes down. Can these guys find a way to get stops and keep points off the board? And, of course, the Chargers, with the first win, keeping the Saints missing that field goal. He's going to put Hunter Henry in the backfield here with Eckler. Phillip Rivers in the shotgun. ADDY05 bringing the safety up. That is a nice play. Brought the safety up. Eckler had nowhere to go. Picks up 1 yard. Going to bring up the Chargers' first 3rd down. 3rd down and 2 here. But he's got an option. He can run the ball here, or he can find one of these speedy little backs, or even Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry is always a good option here at tight end. The guy has some of the best hands in the NFL and catches everything thrown to him. And Phillip Rivers knows how to get him the ball. And he's going to go run here and not pick up this 1st down. This is going to be a 4th and 1. And it looks like the Chargers may go for it here. Now, in the Dynasty, guys, you get to go for it on 4th down. 1 time in regular formation, 1 time in a fake kick in the first 3 quarters. And then in the 4th quarter, it is free. And it looks like the Chargers are going to put the offense back on the field on a 4th and 1 here in the 1st quarter. He is either going to look like a goat or he's going to be and he's going to run the inside draw. And ADDY05 had a chance to eat that up in the backfield. And AKAForse with the spin move at the line of scrimmage to get free. Big pickup, 12 yards there on 4th and 1. But he's used his 4th down up right here early in the first quarter. Some guys expect that momentum, Chris Murray, and AKAForse kept that offense on the field knowing he can't let ADDY05 get back on his offense.
This right here tells me right from the gate that AKAForse is not playing. He's putting it all on line. He's putting it all on line. I feel like that he understands that he has to capitalize on each drive and put points up.
Yeah, and ADDY05 just caught the Chargers. He thought he was either in a man coverage or a cover 3, and he had those corners sitting on those hard flats. First throw for Phillip Rivers, 1 yard gain. Going to bring up a 2nd and 9, but the Chargers are in Saints territory on the 42-yard line, driving here in the first quarter. Saints had the ball first, drove all the way down, missed the field goal. Chargers with their first possession, and Phillip Rivers changing some stuff here at the line of scrimmage, changing routes here. Oh, he's wide open. There's that tight end that I talked about. Hunter Henry is just a cheat code at tight end. As I've played with the Chargers several times. And now we got 36 seconds left here in the first quarter. 3rd and 4, big 3rd down here. Don't want to waste that 4th down that he had. Ekeler in the backfield, trip wide receivers to the left. That is a nice throw. Keenan Allen with his first catch. Phillip Rivers 3 for 3 for 21 yards. And the Chargers are driving Chris Murray. This is exactly what we expected from these two teams.
Yeah, flat out the gate, man. They both are balanced offensive teams. We know they got the defensive guys, but they're going to like I said, we said in the pre-show, they're going to have to figure out how to slow each other off on the offensive side, but also capitalize when they have the ball, And right now, off the gate, it seems like AKAForse is putting it all on the line, man. Look like he's potentially threatening to get 7 points.
Yeah, and the first quarter is going to end here in the season's Super Bowl 0-0 with the Chargers driving here at the Saints 22. And the Saints continue to compress that defensive line. If he runs the stretch here, this could be a big play if he can get outside. He tried to fit it through that. He tried to fit it through that hole, and Ekeler just couldn't find an open spot. He does get 4 yards. Still a good pickup. Brings up 2nd and 6, under 8 minutes.
This is the area in the field where he has to figure out how to get the ball to Keenan Allen. He has to figure out how to get the ball to Keenan Allen because he's right here. Keenan Allen's the top red zone threat, so he has to figure out how to get the ball to him.
Nice spin move. Nice spin move. And Ekeler is going to pick up the first down on that stretch play. Actually ran strong power, flipped to the other side. Good spin move, pick up the first down. 1st and goal from the 8-yard line here. And this is where those windows get a lot smaller, Chris. Got to be smart where you throw this football.
And this is where ADDY05 defense stands tall. This is like he plays strictly red zone defense. And, this is where he gets most of his turnovers at. So let's see what's going to happen. Yeah,
try to go draw here on the first play. Nowhere to go as he's actually going to lose a yard. 2nd and goal from the 9. This is where you got to use some of that height you have at wide receiver in Williams and Keenan Allen. And then you got the big tight end in Hunter Henry. Got to find a way to get these big, huge wide receivers open and kind of throw this ball up to them and let them make a play. Phillip Rivers back to throw the ball. That is risky. Ooh. That is risky because that was never open as ADDY05 was in that cover 4 drop. And he tried to fit that ball into the tight end we talked about, Hunter Henry. Could have been a turnover there, and that's demoralizing to drive all the way down and turn the ball over here at a goal line situation, Chris.
He has to play smart. He has 3 points in his hip pocket. Do not turn the ball over. You had a good drive, good momentum. Do not kill your momentum by turning the ball over right now.
4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. He's got crossing routes. Oh, and he had a man open. He waited a little bit too long, and the Chargers will bring out the field goal unit. That is a win for ADDY05 and those Saints. And he is going to put the ball through the uprights. We have our first score here in the Super Bowl here on the DML Network. Chargers up 3-0 on the Saints. But the Saints are going to get the ball back. Tons of time. And this is going to be a rough kick here. The Saints are going to have great field position. It's going to start inside the 30. Nice play. Still going to start at the 33. And we're going to see another heavy dose of AK-47 with these Saints. Win for the Saints to only give up 3, but now got to go down here and answer those points that he puts on the board and can't miss another field goal. Drew Brees under center, AK-47, Mr. Kamara in the backfield. Drew changes a couple things up. Going to go stretch play here. Great play here by the Chargers here for a loss. Going to bring up a 2nd and 11, Chris. And if you're AKAForse, this is where you have to find a way to get some pressure here and get another stop. You have a chance to put a stranglehold here in the Super Bowl if you can get a 3-and-out here and get the ball back and put some points on the board before halftime.
Yep. If he can figure out how to get a stop here and put some points up before halftime, you got to remember he gets the ball back at halftime. So, this could be a solid lockdown for this game for him if he can figure it out.
Yeah, and he brought pressure there, and it worked. Only giving up a yard there to Alvin Kamara, bringing up a 3rd and 10 here for the Saints. And he's going to come out 5 wides. And this is where Drew Brees has just eaten people alive here this year. Got to find a way to get pressure. These front 5 have given a great pocket, and he's only bringing 3. And Drew Brees had all day to stand back there and throw. Great play. Oh, that could have been a big turnover as that ball hung up in the air quite a bit. And the Chargers forcing the Saints to punt the football early here in the first half. We got 4 minutes, 54 seconds left in the second quarter. Chargers already up 3-0 and about to get the football back as the Speedster Washington going to catch this ball inside the 5. And he's not even going to make the 20. Going to start at the 17-yard line. Big stop there, Chris Murray, for those Chargers.
Like we said in the pre-show, these guys are going to have to figure out how to win on the defensive side of the ball, which the LA Chargers have shown. He has to take full advantage in this drive right here to come away with at least 3 points. If he could get 7, that would be a plus.
And that is a good big play. Nice little run. He got caught up there on his lineman, but they had some good blocks there on the quick pitch as Egler picks up 7 yards, having a very nice first half for the youngster as Melvin Gordon is hurt for the Chargers and will not be back until next year. But he likes this youngster with the speed that he has in him. He's going to go stretch here to the outside, and that didn't fool the Saints as they actually brought a blitz from that side and stopped him for a -1, going to bring up a 3rd and 4. And I know it's early here in the game, Chris, but this is a big 3rd down for the Saints.
Yes, it is. Now, he got, in my opinion right now, seeing how the game started off, I know it's early, but the LA Chargers have the momentum of this game right now. So he got to come away with points to drive. He got to come away with points.
Phillip Rivers back to pass. He's going to throw it on the inside. Nice catch there. Nice throw and catch there for Phillip Rivers. And I believe that's Mike Williams there. Very, very good play. Picked up the first down. 3 minutes and 30 seconds and counting here in the second quarter. Chargers up 3-0 here in the Dynasty Super Bowl for the season where stick skills are king. He's going to go tight, and he's going to run the little draw up the middle, and he should have kept that ball inside. He had a hole to pick up that first down to where that safety was going to have to come down and make a play, but does pick up 5 here, and the Chargers are driving again, Chris.
Look at the time of possession. That's the key factor right now. The time of possession coming out, look he's very relaxed. He's not rushing anything, and he's taking what the defense giving him. You got to keep that same level of play up.
And there is that tight end, and Hunter Henry cannot come away with that football. That was a big throw. Give your tight end a chance, and Bell with a nice play to knock it out right there at the end. But that was a nice ball from Phillip Rivers. Hunter Henry had a chance and brings up another big 3rd down for the Chargers. Saints have to find a way to get off this field.
Yeah, man, defense look fatigued.
Phillip Rivers in the backfield, and he's got options. There was so many people open on that play. Phillip Rivers could have thrown it in multiple places as the Saints brought a blitz here off the corner and didn't get there as the Chargers do a good job picking up that extra rusher. And the Chargers are going to take it to the 2-minute warning, I believe, here inside Saints territory at the 40. And when we come back from this 2-minute warning, the Chargers driving here late in the second quarter, and they get the ball after halftime. Saints have to find a way to tighten up, cannot give up a touchdown here. 3 is the most you can give up, as the Chargers are going to try and use some clock management and not give the Saints opportunity to possess this ball again in the first half. 2 big throws on third down, Chris, for Phillip Rivers, the veteran Phillip Rivers.
It looks like, I'm telling you right now, man, he looks very calm and composed in his game plan. Another good run play. He's playing a well-balanced game. It seemed like, he's making 85. He's not coming out actually knowing what the LA Chargers are doing because they're running the ball so well and they're also passing it so well also. So he's executing a good game plan right now. But the thing is, can he keep it up and this drive not get too greedy and give up a turnover, because that Saints team could definitely cause it.
Big play there. That is a smart throw to Keenan Allen. He waited till Keenan finally got away from that linebacker as he had a double drag going on. The Saints bringing pressure again, not getting to Phillip Rivers. Big first down. Excuse me. Minute 20 and counting here in the second quarter, and the Chargers are driving 1st and 10 here on the 24. And it just seems like AKAForse can do whatever he wants right now in offense. As he has the youngster in the backfield, looks like he's going to go slants here. Nope, he's going to run the outside run here, and this is a big play. And he's going to get out of bounds, stop that clock. Minute 3 left. Another big run from the youngster. 6 yards, brings up a 2nd and 4. And AKAForse rolling here on offense, Chris.
Yeah, see, this is when that factor kicks in. The Saints are without Cameron Jordan. There's no pressure on the quarterback. They can't seem to figure out how to stop the run. This guy would have helped out with that a lot. It's showing that without him being on the field, it's affecting the game a lot. Another big play.
Another great throw. Phillip Rivers just taking what the defense gives him, picks up with the little drag here, 8 yards to Williams. 1st and 10 from the 10. This is actually a goal to go. It says he can get a first down, but he's either getting in the end zone or getting a stop. The Chargers running this clock under 45 seconds to go. Looks like he's going to turn around and hand it to the youngster. And yes, he does. And that is going nowhere as the Saints gobble that up there at the line of scrimmage, bringing up 2nd and 10 here for the Chargers. Still no timeout from either side as this clock is running. Oh, I believe the Saints
have to get a stop.
Took a timeout.
They have to give up no more than 3 points on this drive. They have to give up. I think if they could figure out how to not let the Chargers score a touchdown here, pretty much going into the locker room at halftime down by only 1 score, that'll be a whole lot better. But if you give up 7.
Yeah, watch Williams coming here on the drag. He is open. That's what he's going to take. Take it down to the 6-yard line. And the Chargers here got to call a timeout. Saints call another timeout. The Saints are I don't know if that's a smart decision. I'm going to make the Chargers use their timeouts, as the Chargers didn't look like they were just going to come up to the line of scrimmage and let this clock run. I don't know if the Saints are expecting to get this football back with 20-something seconds left. But to me, that's a bad timeout there by the Saints. Trips here to the right with Hunter Henry, Eckler in the backfield, and it's going to be a draw play. Oh, nice spin move. And that is the first touchdown here in the Super Bowl. The Chargers shocking the commentators. I expect ADDY05 to have this first half, and AKAForse has come out and really dominated in every aspect of the game, held this very powerful Saints offense to 0 points, and the youngster Eckler in the backfield filling in for Melvin Gordon puts up the first touchdown. And Chris, we got a 10-0 ball game here in the first half. Saints reeling right now on defense.
Right now, that's not a good that's not a good look for the Saints. How this defense have been playing so far, they can't seem to figure out how to slow down this LA Chargers offense, and that right there, giving up 7. Yeah, that put the Saints in a tight situation right now, man.
Yeah, and got to be smart if you're New Orleans. You don't want to throw a bad ball here, get it picked off, and give up more points here. But we know how ADDY05 is. He is going to fight until there is no time left on the clock. And he has a wide open wide receiver and did not get his feet down. That's going to bring up 2nd and 10 here in the first half. Chargers up 10-0. 10 seconds left, Chris. You just take a knee here and get into the locker room down 10-0.
Yeah, just take a knee, man. Run the ball. Go into the locker rooms, regroup, come out with a different game plan for the second half. You can't afford right now to throw a turnover and potentially probably cause a pick six or even, run the ball and cause a fumble. It just doesn't make any sense. I would just take a knee right here, go in the locker room and regroup. But
yeah, and he's going to dump the ball out here to Kamara, Mr. AK-47, who's really done everything for him. Pick up 16 yards, get it to the 40, and do we see a Hail Mary here from the Saints? Just throw this ball up in the air, and I believe that's what we're going to get. Got to block well here because he has moved Bosa to the middle here to bring some pressure, and Drew Brees is going to actually go down here to end the first half. That's Melvin Ingram, who had 20 sacks on the season, and he gets one here in the Super Bowl. Chargers get the ball back here, Chris, up 10-0. Big drive here for the Saints. Cannot give up points.
Nope. And what the Chargers got to understand is this. It's okay to come away with 3 points on this drive. That puts you up by 2 scores. Just stick to the script, what you've been doing. Balance offensive scheme. It takes what the defense give you. Don't come out this second half doing nothing extra, going above and beyond. Just stick to the basics.
Yeah, got to play smart here if you're the Chargers, knowing you have the 10-0 lead, but don't want to take your foot off the gas. Still got to kind of press your offense, but do it smart. This game could easily get back if you decide to press too much and throw the ball here to the Saints, and that is a good throw. Phillip Rivers is seeing the field really, really well. 9-12 here for 99 yards, and it just looked like the Chargers wide receivers are finding those open holes. And the Saints got to find a way to get a turnover or get a stop here real quick and get the ball back in Drew Brees' hands.
They think they can't. They're not causing no pressure. Drew Brees is just back there pretty much eating a sandwich, drinking a glass of lemonade, and then just picking the defense apart. They have to figure out how to get pressure, man. And I'm telling you, without Cam and Jordan being on the field, it's affecting them.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers turns around, hand the ball to Eckler. He's going to pick up 3. Good play by the Saints there. Going to bring up a 2nd and 7 as we are in the third quarter here on the DML Network. Appreciate everybody that's tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button so you can keep up to date with everything we're doing here in the Dynasty as we will have some new shows coming out. The franchise will be out very, very soon as we decide, did you make a good pick or not? And there's the first pressure here in the game as the Chargers tried a little play action pass there, and Phillip Rivers had pressure in his face as soon as he turned around, and he threw up a duck that could have been picked off. 2 guys had a chance there for the Saints to pick that ball off. That's what you were talking about, Chris. That's the bad decision the Chargers could make to put the Saints right back in this game.
And that's right there what he has to understand. Stick to the basics. That's a ball that you should throw away or just try to scramble to get a couple extra yards. Don't get too greedy here, man.
And the Saints showing pressure here and bringing pressure, and that is a drop. That is a straight drop for Phillip Rivers as he threw that ball where only his guy could catch it. And the Saints force a punt here, exactly what they needed to start the third quarter, Chris.
Yeah, and this is where, that experience, what I mentioned in the pre-show, ADDY05 in those previous Super Bowl kicks in right here. He's down by 10. He got a good stop. Can this offense outside of AK-47 get going? We haven't seen that from Michael Thomas yet. Can we see someone step up other than AK-47 and get this Saints offense going?
Yeah, and Drew Brees is going to be in the backfield by himself. Chargers bring a little pressure, and there is a good throw by Drew Brees, finding that guy you just talked about. 15 yards as the Chargers brought a blitz and left man coverage on that backside. And that's where Drew Brees can eat you apart. If you bring pressure and don't get to him, he's going to find somebody that's open because he's got some wide receivers that can get separation. As the Saints here, 1st and 10 here at the 35. Go ahead, Chris.
And we mentioned if AKAForse blitzes and he exposes things that Drew Brees is going to find. So he has to figure out, man, like I said, on the offensive side, the same formula you was doing in the first half, is the same formula you need to use the second half. Stick to the basics, man. If it ain't broke, don't try to fix it.
Yeah, and he's got, that was dangerous because while he thought Thomas was open, he had that corner was trailing him. And it looks like AKAForse is bringing pressure just about every down here. And Drew Brees has found some guys open, but that's a play that ball was a little bit behind Michael and had a chance to get picked off. Very good play by the Chargers there. It brings up a 2nd and 10 at midfield here. AK-47 in the backfield, split left to Drew Brees, and he's got a wide open tight end coming across the middle of the field. Nice play. Pick up what you can. Get 6 yards. Bring up a easy 3rd and 4. A lot better to have 3rd and 4 than 3rd and 10, as the Saints need to find a way to keep this offense on the field. And Chris, if he doesn't pick up this first down, could we see the Saints going for it here on 4th down?
I don't see why not. You know, what ADDY05 has to understand is this: he can come away with 3 points on this drive and make it a 1-score game. So he got to calm his nerves. You know, he had to calm his nerves. But I can see him definitely going for it on 4th down if he doesn't pick up his 3rd down. Got a little motion, okay.
Yep, going to send the running back out here in the flat, and he's going to have a little drag route here. And he was just waiting. Oh, and I think he dropped that ball. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Big drop. That was a big drop right there.
Oh, my goodness. And ADDY05 is going to punt the ball here on 4th and 4 here in the 3rd quarter, down 10, and ask his defense to come out with the stop. Of course, AKAForse not believing that he's in punt safe, but ADDY05 definitely punts the football in the end zone. The Chargers are going to get it out to 20. He waited for the linebacker to make a decision and took the underneath route, and his wide receiver just drops it on him. That is a big play for the Saints. We're going to look back at that play and decide, should ADDY05 have gone for it right there on 4th down? If the Chargers
that right there shows me the lack of confidence that he has in his defense. You know, even though it's a risky gamble, but that right there definitely shows me that, you know, it's a little question mark out there in the Saints for that on that defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and AKAForse at this point, he's just taking everything underneath, asking the Saints, you're going to have to press up, and when you do press up, I'm going to throw something in behind you. But Phillip Rivers is just he's seeing this field so well today, and ADDY05 is going to have to find a way to force a turnover here. Watch Eckler here out in the flats. If he gets any kind of cover 3, yep, Eckler in the flats was wide open. But, nice little spin move there. Phillip Rivers is dealing right now, 11-16, over 100 yards. Huge series here for both these teams. AKAForse can feel it right now as the momentum is all on LA side, and the Saints got to find a way to get some pressure here on Phillip Rivers as he's standing back there like a statue. He's going to go stretch here to Eckler behind his 2 tight ends set here on the right and get outside. And this is what he's been doing all year. Oh, and we have an injury. The Chargers just lost Hunter Henry, his big, huge tight end, who he relies on to pick up those dirty yards over the middle. And this is one of the parts of Madden I wish, and I talked about this on our Good, Bad, and Ugly. We just saw Hunter Henry walking back to the huddle, but he's hurt. Chargers going drag here, and he's going to throw the ball up the field. Nice play there to knock that ball out. It was just a bruised elbow. Hunter Henry coming right back in the game. He tried to throw the ball down the field, and the Saints made a great play on the football, bring up a 3rd and 9. Huge play here for the Saints. Got to get away. Got to find a way to make the Chargers punt here. And the Chargers look for Hunter Henry here running this deep in route with Williams coming underneath. If he can get this linebacker to bite up on this underneath route, it looks like Addy's going to be usuring that linebacker. Yep, and Hunter Henry is not open, but he still threw it in there, and Hunter Henry comes away with the catch. Huge pass there for 11 yards, Chris, and the Chargers first down inside Saints territory at the 49.
That was a big catch right there. That was a big catch. Definitely for him coming back on the field with that bruised elbow. That was a big catch.
Yeah, and I didn't think he was open, Chris, and he forced that ball in there, and Hunter Henry, one of those guys that's going to catch the football. And this is where Addy has to realize, Andy Force is not going to force anything down the field. If he doesn't see his first read open, he's just going to dump it down to his running back. You got to find a way to stop this running back from catching this football. Picks up 7 yards, and he's going to run another 20, 25 seconds off this clock. Andy Force having his way right now. Could we see a crispy Kreme?
Level.
Yeah, and he's going to run outside stretch, and that's a first down for the Chargers. Ooh, and Eckler comes up hurt. Uh-oh. That is a big injury for the Chargers, as he is already without Melvin Gordon, and now Eckler hurt. He is hoping Eckler is something real simple, just got a cramp or something, but we'll find out shortly, as now the third string running back in the backfield. Andy Force can't change his game here, Chris. Got to continue running this football.
Yeah, of course. You could definitely see the confidence level of the LA Chargers is rising play after play after play after play. But he got to see it through.
Yeah, Eckler with the foot sprain going to come back here very shortly. We could see him back in this play. That is a huge relief for Andy Force and the Chargers, as his monster of a tailback this year, with Melvin Gordon hurt most of the year, has been Eckler, and he's been carrying this Chargers team with Phillip Rivers. Big play, 2nd and 11. Eckler back in the game. Split right here to Phillip Rivers. Phillip back to throw this football, and he's got 2 guys wide open. And that is a big throw there by Phillip Rivers. I thought he was going to take one of these 2 drags with his running back and his slot wide receiver, but he takes the deep end. Big catch there by Mr. Mike Williams. 3 catches for 43 yards. And the Chargers inside the 25 now, as they are in field goal range and can go up by 2 scores and really take this clock into the fourth quarter here, Chris. The Saints got to find a way to get a turnover.
Man, the LA Chargers can see the finish line.
Oh, what a spin. What a move there by Eckler, Chris. And he takes it inside the 9.
Level is through the roof. The confidence level is through the roof. I'm telling you, you can see the finish line. He can see the finish line. He can smell the champagne in the locker room.
That's it. That's
it. He can see it. I'm telling you.
Man, get the T-shirts ready. The Chargers, 1st and goal from the 9, under 50 seconds left here in the third quarter. Already up 10-0. Phillip Rivers back to throw. Ooh. That is a confidence throw for sure, as he was covered there, had the linebacker sitting on that slant route, but Keenan Allen, just one of those guys that finds a way to go get the football. 2nd and goal from the 3 here, Chris. And he can take this clock all the way into the fourth quarter with a run here. He doesn't even have to score here, and can start the fourth quarter up 2 scores.
He has to not.
He's throwing the football.
Wow.
And he's going to complete it. Touchdown, Chargers.
You're talking about stamping your name on the W. He is stamping his name into the DML history books by the level of confidence he's playing with right now.
Somebody wake up the bus. He may have to go to work after this game, as we have a Krispy Kreme on the scoreboard here for the Saints. Third quarter, 13 seconds left. Chargers kicking off. This ball's going to come out to the 25. ADDY05 got to find a way to get something going here on offense. Andy Force is balling right now, and the LA Chargers look like they're going to hang the first banner here in Madden 19 in the Dynasty. And Chris Murray, this game did not go as we expected. We knew that the Chargers had an offense, but we did not expect the Saints to have 0 here in the third quarter.
No. You couldn't have told me that this game would have been going like this. But like we said, man, in pre-show, if he can figure out how to contain and take AK-47 out of the game, then the playing field is even. And he came out and executed it. So I don't see. This is what's so exciting about the dynasty, man.
Absolutely.
Even though them 2 guys are on 2 different platforms, the Chargers came out with a game plan. He executed it, and now he could be potentially hanging the first banner of the Madden 19 cycle.
Not only the first banner, but his first banner here in the dynasty. And couldn't happen for a greater guy in Andy Force. He's put his time in. He's worked. He's almost been there. He's been so close. And he's got this Charger team balling. Drew Brees back to throw the football here. And the Chargers missed knocking that ball down, and the Saints are going to pick up a first down, 11 yards on that throw. And this is where I feel like Addy should be in his hurry up here, as he is down 3 scores here. He's got to find a way to put this ball in the end zone and do it quickly. Drew Brees in the backfield, AK-47 in the pistol formation here. Drew Brees making a couple changes here, down 17-0 to the Chargers in the Super Bowl here in the Dynasty. Drew Brees back to pass. Take what you can get. That's a nice throw, but he can't get his feet down. Michael Thomas struggling here in the Super Bowl as Drew Brees and him cannot find a way to get on the same page. 2nd and 10 after 39, Chris. Go ahead.
And that's a guy right there that we have not mentioned or seen anything from all day. All day, man. And it's crazy. It's real crazy because wow, man, the LA Chargers are
4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Drew Brees going to his right. He's going to take a shot, and he has a wide open receiver down the field. That is a good throw, big throw, 30-yard gain here. Saints trying to find a way to get back into this football game. And the Chargers are just in that prevent mode at this point. Everything in front of them, let nothing get in behind you. And the Saints need a score quick as we are under the 6:50 mark here in the fourth quarter. Again, 4 wides, 1 tight end here. Michael Thomas split to the left, and he's going to take the little short route. Another first down here for the Saints. And there's the hurry up we talked about. Drew Brees going to bring the offense back to the line. Watch Michael Thomas here in the slot. He had him open. He just waited, and Andy Force took that away. But he still throws it to Michael Thomas, and that ball gets separated from him there at the goal line as the Chargers were in that 2 shell. Chargers playing well on defense, not allowing the Saints to do what he likes to do, which is get those slot receivers up the seams and make you make a decision and then find something underneath. As Hayward and this secondary playing well, Chris. 6 minutes, 27 seconds. Saints need 3 scores here. If you don't get a touchdown, you kick the field goal here. You still need 2 touchdowns after that.
Good play. I just can't. I think you don't have enough time. And how his defense is playing, he cannot seem to figure out how to slow down the LA Chargers team. And I think this pretty much is a wrap, man. I think the LA Chargers got this one.
The Saints have a good offense. Don't count the Saints out. Drew Brees looked like he's going to take off, and he takes a shot. Go and hurry up. 4th down.
Big stop.
Oh, and he calls a timeout. I think Addy's going to think the same thing. I got to kick a field goal here. That or he called a timeout because he wanted to get his play on offense.
If he can figure out
I'm kicking a field goal here. You're down 3 scores. I would have kicked a field goal. This is a big 4th down here for the Saints. As you can go for it on any 4th down here in the fourth quarter, especially when you're down 17 points. Michael Thomas in motion, and he's going to take a shot, and that is picked off. And somebody better catch him. That is a nice play by the Chargers, and that was just not open as Brown just sat in that hole. He was trying to feed it into Michael Thomas, who had that little stop route, that little curl route on the motion. Go ahead, Chris.
But if you've seen that play, I'm pretty sure that you took Drew Brees out of his comfort zone because Kamara was running on the flat. Once you took that read away, it took Drew Brees completely out of his comfort zone. And as you can see, he came out. Ooh, good move.
Eckler is balling. 19 rushes, 101 yards. That is your MVP right there, fellas. Eckler is doing it all right now, catching the football, running the football. And the Saints only have 2 timeouts here, Chris. And you're right. It does not look like he is able to stop Andy Force and those Chargers. Andy Force hanging the first banner in Madden 19, Chris?
I couldn't have projected that. You heard what I mentioned in the pre-show, but he must have been tuning in because he came out playing with a chip on his shoulder this game.
Yeah, 20 rushes here for the youngster, 101 yards and 1 touchdown. Eckler is balling right now. Get that man a new car as he's going to win MVP here in the Super Bowl here in the Dynasty. And if you're Andy Force, this is just run the clock. And he's going to stand back here and throw the football. That is a bad decision as the Saints pick that football off. That is one where you try to put the nail in the coffin too soon. You just got to run the football there. Big turnover for the Saints. But is it too little, too late for ADDY05 and these New Orleans Saints, Chris?
Now, it's just too little, too late. If he would have kicked first off, you got to remember he missed that first field goal. If he
Yep.
could have executed the first field goal and just kicked the one on the last drive, down here would definitely
and
making a comeback.
And the Chargers bring pressure right up the middle. Huge sack on Drew Brees. Loses 8 yards. Going to bring up 2nd and 18. This Charger defense came to play today, Chris, and they are the real MVP if you ask ADDY05, as they have shut this high-powered Saints offense down.
This has been an offense that averaged 35 points all season. For them to be in the fourth quarter with a donut on the board is you got to tip your head off to the LA Chargers defense, man.
Big throw in the middle, and that is a big catch there that the Saints needed. Go and hurry up here. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left at the Chargers 47. Saints down 17-0 here in the Super Bowl. Just got to get something on the board if you're ADDY05 and the Saints. And that's a bad throw. Oh, I hate that animation. Michael Thomas needs to catch that football for his quarterback. The Saints just can't find a way. Yeah, Michael Thomas
has been
he's been a bum. He's been a bum, Chris Murray. Michael Thomas, is he in a Saints jersey next year? Maybe Michael Thomas is on the board. He's going to run the draw here to Kamara and catch the Chargers off guard. Alvin Kamara, 7 carries, 33 yards, Chris. Didn't expect AK-47 to not break the 100-yard mark here.
Definitely was expecting a big game from AK-47, but the Chargers team understood that they had so many to block victory. And as you can see, that game plan that they're executing is going to lock them in for the season banner. Wow, this is
yeah.
I think right now, man, ADDY05 is just pretty much just trying to get points on the board so he can get that Krispy Kreme and But yeah. Wow.
Somebody wake the bus up. He may have to go to work here. Nice throw there by Drew Brees. Going to pick up the first down. Drew Brees, 14-22, 165, and that one interception. And he's going hurry up here. Brees in the shotgun. Kamara to his right. And he's throwing this football, and the Chargers know it. Oh, high pass. Ooh, that is almost intercepted by the Chargers. He tried to throw that ball up in there and let his receiver go up and get it. Did not work as he was on verticals. 2nd and 10, 2 minutes and 16 seconds left, and the Saints don't know what's happened. It's going to take a couple days to find out what really happened because ADDY05 has come in here and played a nearly flawless game here on defense. The Saints have had a couple drives here. They did miss the field goal, didn't get it on 4th down, threw the interception on 4th down on the last drive. And the Chargers bringing more pressure. Drew Brees has a wide open wide receiver, and that's going to put points on the board. Plus, you can now go back to bed as you will not be needed for the Krispy Kreme Award here in the Super Bowl as ADDY05 finally gets some points on the board. Kick is up. Kick is good. Saints down 17-7. Here comes the onside kick, Chris. But somebody find ADDY05's address. Oh, and he's kicking the ball off deep with 2 timeouts and a 2-minute warning. He's going to ask this defense to get a quick stop. But someone find out ADDY05's address and send him his shirt. He's won the season. Get the banner ready. Nasty Noop, get to work. It's time to get the banner ready and hang it in on the Daddy Leagues page. Now, the Chargers cannot throw the football here. This has to be 3 runs, right, Chris?
3 runs. You cannot get greedy. Understand that you have the momentum and you're right there at the finish line. Right at the finish line. Just run the ball, and that's that. Just lean on your defense. We're playing well all game. Do not get greedy. Just run the ball, take care of the ball. That's all he has to do.
And it's a big run on 1st down. Could have been a big run. Saints close in, only give up 3, and he takes his 2nd timeout, and then he's going to take the 2-minute warning here as he's expecting the Chargers to run the football 3 times and then punt it away to him. And the Saints, I told y'all, he's going to fight to the very, very end till there is zeros on the clock. And that's what we love about ADDY05. But the Chargers balling tonight. Looks like Eckler's going to go here on a counter, and he does. And the Saints are right there to gobble it up. 2-minute warning. Saints down 17-7. Need 2 scores here. As I don't understand what is going on with this Saints offense. You talked about 30-plus points a game during the season and in the playoffs. I mean, he hung 47 in the NFC Championship, and he's come out here and he's got 7 through 3 quarters, all the way up to the 2-minute warning here in the fourth quarter. Shocking to expert. What about you, Chris Murray?
It's it's shocking, not even a word. Like it's crazy.
Chargers gonna throw the football here, and he picks up the first down.
Nailing the call.
What a throw by Phillip Rivers to Mr. Williams. 19-yard gain. That is a confident throw. I did not expect him to throw the football there, especially a play-action throw with Phillip Rivers. Not the most mobile quarterback, but now you put chew clock on, take a knee, and someone get the banner ready, get the confetti ready. The Chargers about to pop bottles tonight, Chris Murray. Your Super Bowl champ here in the dynasty, as he's going to turn around and hand the ball off here. Saints have no timeouts left now. They have already used all their timeouts. You don't have to run another play here if you're the Chargers. This is take a knee, victory formation, ADDY05 with the Super Bowl win. Put your GGs in the chat. This game is over, Chris Murray. It's
over, man. And it's why is he still coming out trying to just knee the ball? Oh, come on, man. This is when you
put chew clock on. Knee. Yeah, put the chew clock on. Take a knee. You've done it, ADDY05. You have fought off 31 other users here in the dynasty. You have cemented yourself in the rafters. No one can ever take your banner away from you, ADDY05. I don't care what anybody says. You have a banner hanging in the rafters in the dynasty, and that is a huge task to do. And you have your first one, and it's in the season, which means it means even more because stick skills are king here in the first year, as Phillip Rivers is going to take a knee. And Chris Murray, that is going to do it. The clock will run out, and it is time to celebrate if you are a Charger fan. You have won the Super Bowl. ADDY05 has delivered for you as we go to 10 seconds here on the clock. And he's not going to run another play. Phillip Rivers just going to get underneath the center here. 5 seconds left. The Chargers are Super Bowl champs. All right, Dynasty, time to congratulate ADDY05. Chris Murray. We were wrong.
Wow.
As the Chargers shocked the world, and Chris Murray, an expert. I still can't believe it, Chris Murray.
I can't either. It was a crazy game, man, which you could tell from that first drive from the LA Chargers when they went for it on fourth down that they were all in. They were all in. And they just snatched the momentum from that point on. I'm just, wow, man, wow. Congratulations to ADDY05, man. He came out, he played a heck of a game.
Yeah.
Wow, that was crazy.
Yeah, as you see the two coaches get to midfield and congratulate each other, the Saints are going to go back to the drawing board and find out what went wrong. The Chargers are going to party until the middle of next week. There will be a parade in L.A. As they bring the first Super Bowl in the dynasty for ADDY05 and the Chargers. And there is your MVP on the screen. Mr. Eckler ran all over this Saints defense, over 100 yards, scored the touchdown, and really put this game on his back for ADDY05 and the Chargers. As we see Phillip Rivers congratulating his wide receivers, and the sportsmanship here from the Saints is tremendous as the Chargers walk away in the season with the first banner in Madden 19. Now, Chris Murray, it's up to all of us to make sure the Chargers don't win back-to-back and knock him off. But ADDY05 is going to be on a high for a couple weeks. But let's congratulate ADDY05 as well. A tremendous season in New Orleans, gets all the way to the Super Bowl, won the NFC, played a game that he didn't expect to play. He expected more from himself. But shout out to the homie ADDY05 as he's done a great job with those New Orleans Saints. But the Chargers are your Super Bowl champs. All right, Chris Murray, final thoughts before we get out of here.
Wow. I was wrong. Wow.
Yeah.
But this is gonna be. I don't think this is gonna be the Saints and '85 last Super Bowl. I don't think
No.
this how this team is and the type of GM that he is. They're gonna be there again. They're gonna be that delay, man. Could have affected this game more than what a lot of people thought.
Yeah, that was rough.
Wow.
All right, guys. Huge.
I'm lost for words right now.
Yeah. Huge shout out to the homie Chris Murray, jumping in the booth with your boy Expert here on the DML Network. We appreciate everybody stopping through. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you want to get into the Dynasty, go to the DynastyMaddenLeague.com. Put your application in, as we will have somebody get back to you. But appreciate everybody tuning in. On behalf of the DML Network, your boy Chris Murray and Expert, we're out.